How do you deal with mom guilt?
Mom guilt.
So mom guilt.
Mom guilt.
Mom guilt.
Mom guilt.
Mom guilt is so real, but I always remind myself that I'm doing the best that I can. And even more so as a single mom, and I'm the mother and the father in the family right now. And it's been like that for the past 8 years. But I try not to let that get me down because I'm doing the best that I can. I'm working hard, working on myself, working on my children, doing all these different things to give us a better life.
Unfortunately, I cry when I feel guilty.
Talk about it.
Could be that I talk to other moms who have kids around the same age, and then we share our experiences and learn together.
I deal with mom guilt by connecting with my inner child. I try to talk to my kids the way I would have wanted to be talked to when I was a kid.
So mum guilt is something I don't think that's ever going to leave society because it is a very heavily patriarchal society through generations, thousands of years. And so that mum guilt does originate from that. So we can't get away from it, but what we can do is we can fight it. And the best way that I do that is by reminding myself of my wins. So I like to tell myself before I go to bed at night things that I have done and have achieved in that day.
I deal with it as it comes because I'm not sure you can prevent it. It's a constant battle, and so it's like a matter of allowing yourself to experience it and process that emotion. And I constantly just say, my kids are going to be okay.
I don't really experience that much mom guilt, probably because I spend a lot of time with my kids. But I think I just remind myself that I want my kids to grow up to be strong and independent and loving. And in order for them to do that, they're going to have to learn how to do things without me or adjust when they can't get all of their needs met.
I remind myself that I'm trying my best. I remind myself that I'm showing up every day, doing my best, doing the very best I can.
I don't have mom guilt, so I don't have a really good framework for dealing with it. Being a parent doesn't necessarily come with a manual, so you have to give yourself some forgiveness and some space to grow.
And just really relaxing and saying, okay, whatever I do is the right thing for myself and for my child. And but of course not seeing this as an end, but part of the process. We also reflect, okay, did I do the right thing? Maybe not. Well, how am I going to do it differently tomorrow? And tomorrow, whatever I do with my child will be the right thing for her, for me, at that moment.
I deal with mom guilt every second of the day, 24/7. But more times than not, the mom guilt that we carry is really in our heads. It's really in here. And you look over at your children and they're not even thinking about whatever it is that you're feeling guilty on. That is one way that I think about it, is really truly thinking about, is this really something that is affecting them? Is it really something that's bothering them? And I think a lot of times it hasn't been.
I deal with mom guilt by just trying to see all of the good things that are happening for my kids. So what are all of the things that I am able to provide him? If that's hugs, if that's, having a little joyful moment of play with him, but just trying to focus on what's happening in front of me. Because I think mom guilt really happens for me when I'm just distracted or worried and just not present with my kiddo.
With mom guilt in a really healthy way, I just kind of beat myself over the head with it. I'm constantly worrying about whether I can be a better mom, how can I be a better mom. No, actually for mom guilt, I really just try to pray about it and remind myself that I'm doing my best and try harder the next day.
I've been a mom for over 18 years and I have 5 kiddos. My youngest is 4, and I've learned in these years to let go of perfection, and you can't be everything all the time.
I have to remind myself
that I can't take care of anyone else if I'm not okay. So I know sometimes we feel like we need to do things for our family and our children and everything, but we got to remember, if we're not at full capacity, if we haven't had a good night's sleep, if we haven't eaten well, if we haven't exercised, or aren't very mindful and telling ourselves positive affirmations, that we're not going to be good to anybody. So you can't feel guilty about that. You have to feel proud that you're taking care of yourself